let's take a look at another old dumpy computer. But I gotta get it out of there first. This derelict thing here is the second of two. My camera is telling me that I should replace the battery, even though it just told me that I've got 56 minutes of record time, so that's a nice lie. But the second of two of these process systems. You can see there's actually an extra cover in there, probably because it came from the other one. This system, I'm pretty sure I made a video of the other one, but it's exactly the same with the SE440BX motherboard from Intel. There's no Ethernet. It does have video. I'm pretty sure it's AGP video and a PCI sound card, which is all going to stay in there, but I am going to be pulling out the motherboard. I'm going to be replacing it with, well, not a gigabyte board. Now, this is not the first A7A266 board I've had. In fact, I think it's the fourth, maybe even the fifth. I've had really bad luck with these. Now, if you remember, I pulled one off the curb, and I had that one for quite a while, and it worked when I initially got it, but then, of course, it stopped working. Then I ended up scrapping that entire system. I kind of regret doing that because the case was pretty nice, even if it was in absolutely deplorable condition, but at the time I didn't have the space, so that's the way that it ended up. Look at this. I don't know what would have been in that, but I'm going to throw it out. Unless that's actually part of the box for this CPU cooler, which it could be, I don't know. I bought two more on eBay. Both of them arrived damaged because I don't remember which one it is. If it was this capacitor or this capacitor right here had come off. On one board it was completely missing, and on the other one it had come free. One of the legs had pulled free. And then I got another one. At least I'm pretty sure I got another one that also didn't work for some unexplored reason. But this one was billed as working. It's an A7A266 because it's got the ALI chipset. And it's interesting to me, not only because it's got both types of memory, DDR and PC133, but it also has an AGP Pro slot. And if it works, I'm going to be trying this out with my Intergraph Intense3D Wildcat AGP Pro video card. But I gotta go ahead and get the stuff out of this case first. Okay. So here's what's in here right now. Go ahead and pull out a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately, because it's so cold, a lot of this wiring is retaining its shape. So that might be a little bit of a pain. And I hope that this power supply has got a 3-pin power, although I'm not sure that I need it for the AMD board either. Some of them did. Uh-oh, I see bloated capacitors. But looks like this one does not. It just needs the 20-pin power, which is good, because this is an old Pentium 3 board that does not need the additional power. It doesn't have it. This is a slot 1 board, or maybe a slot 2. I don't really know what the difference is, but you can see that it's got one of these socket adapters in it, so it can use a 370 CPU. It's got some memory. I don't know how much, probably 256 megabytes if I had to guess. It's a Rage 128 video card. Nothing fancy, but it is AGP. And for testing purposes, I'm going to reuse it for this. You can see here's the wonderful booby trap device right there to prevent people from stealing your computer hardware. There's a floppy drive, and there's the optical drive up there. And what I'm thinking about doing is adding a second optical drive to this. Although I'm not sure that I'll go through with it. I may just completely replace this CD-ROM drive, because anything that I'd really want to install on this outside of Windows, and I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to install anything on this outside of Windows, but anything like that is going to be on a DVD. So I do have a DVD ROM drive here. Sorry, this is actually a DVD burner from Sony. that I believe works, but I'm not 100% sure. I may just put it in there for the sake of having it in there, and I'm probably also, even against my better judgment, going to put in an adapter so I can have some front panel audio and some front panel USB on this, but I haven't decided on that yet. Alright, got this thing basically ready to go for the new board. I'll have to double check the standoffs. I'd like to get rid of these ones. I don't really like these, but those ones work better than the ones that were in the process, or the newer cases, the Pentium 4 ones. So I guess I don't feel too bad about those. But I'll probably, because I don't think I need this right here, I'll probably move that one either to this one or to that one up there, just to make my life easier later on if I ever go to remove this motherboard at some as yet undetermined later date. Or if it doesn't work. I got the base configuration done, and wow, that took more effort than it really should have. This I/O plate didn't really want to line up, but I managed to get it in there. It was catching on the serial ports, because I guess those got bent up in shipping or something. So, not really feeling confident about this. Alright. Here's a basic setup. I did put the sound card in there. I don't really remember why, but it's there. I'm still using the old AGP video card, just because I know that that card works, or at least it did work. And I want to rule out as many problems as I can before I go too crazy with this. So, we should be in shape fit to power it up. So, that's precisely what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this over to my work area, plug it in, power it on, and see how many things blow sky high. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, I haven't blown up yet. I hear a squealing noise. There's power. Ha! Sweet! It's running! Perfect. So this one actually works. And nothing smells like it's exploded. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up some of the other components here. Well, this is amazing. Check this out. I'm going to look at that floppy cable. No, the floppy cable's correct. You can see where the red is on that cable. Well, maybe not, but this you can certainly see where the red is on the cable. But look where the blocker is. It's in the wrong place. So pin 1 on this cable matches up with pin 40 on the drive. And both cables that came out of this case are like that. So that's super stupid, because it means I can't use this cable to hook up both these optical drives, because it is simply not long enough. Allow me to correct myself. The cable's not backwards. Well, it was, but it's not backwards in the way that you think. The red stripe is in the right place. These connectors are in the wrong one. So I don't really know how that managed to happen, but whatever. Let's give this a try with our new optical drives. And the floppy drive. Okay, it still posts. Since you use a new CPU, which I did not do, I'm not sure what the CPU actually is. So we'll take a look here. I believe this has 1 GB of memory on it. Yes. Oh. Oh, they're both there. That ejects. Sounds kind of nasty, but it works. And of course, that one's stuck. There we go. press and bang tactic works every time. Now for the hard drive, what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to install this, which is a 40 gigabyte drive. Either that, or I'll install this 60. It's right here. August of 2001 versus January of 2004. 2004 probably matches the system a little bit more closely, so I'm going to go ahead and install that. See there. Looks like it's working. And guess what, folks? I have installed the big video card. I don't know why scroll lock is on. No, it's trying to load some kind of Linux. Whatever was already on the hard drive. Now, is the hard drive LED working? It doesn't look like it. Power LED works, though. So I'll have to flip that around. Yeah, Fedora of some kind, so I don't know what it came out of, but anyway. You can see this cable and how backwards it is. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. But there is the card, complete with fan, that I think is a little useless, although it actually moves more air than you think. So maybe not totally useless, but not great either. There's our hard drive LED. So you can see all the drives are accounted for. Now we just have to install something. So I'm actually going to go into setup. I'm going to set this up to my liking. And then I will go ahead and load my new operating system, which is going to be Windows XP. Love how this monitor thinks that I care. How cute. But you've seen a Windows XP setup a million times, and apparently it's getting hung up on this floppy drive. I'm tempted to just unplug the stupid thing, just to maybe get this to go a little bit faster. It's a good thing I put that Sony drive in there, though, because this Toshiba wouldn't boot that CD. Let's see if it bounces the floppy again. I've never had it hang around at that step for that long. Okay, there we go. At least something's working. The sound card that's in there, unfortunately, does not have a working, or it does not have a front panel connection on it, so no front panel audio for this, but I can't say that I'm going to miss that anyway. Really, I just wanted the USB, and only because this thingy happened to be sitting around doing nothing. So, might as well give it something to do, right? Okay, this should be first boot. After running setup. Of course, it's going to try and boot to the CD first, which I'm not going to do. Sure does take its jolly sweet time. Is it going to work or what? Okay, so we should now be coming off the hard drive. Here's Windows XP. So I'll have to, first of all, I got to install a network card. I'm going to put two in here. I'm actually going to put a wireless card in this. for no other reason than I can. I think it's running at a weird resolution right now. It's not doing display scaling. Because maybe this card doesn't support display scaling. I don't know. Well, here it comes. Yeah, it looks like half of my screen is off the screen. So that's entertaining, and that could be fun to try and straighten out. Wow. To say that Windows XP doesn't really like this card either would be an understatement. Indeed, half of my stuff is off the screen, as you can tell. And I don't really know why that is. I'll have to see if I can install the appropriate video driver. If I can even find the appropriate video driver for this. If not, I may just say the hell with that and put the, that's artistic. And put the, Radeon card back in here. That was in here previously. Where did that go? That's this card. Sorry, not Radeon. This is a Rage 128. I have an RV250 sitting over here. Okay, I have no idea what this thing is doing now. Hard drive is doing something though, so it's not completely locked up. So I guess I just gotta wait for it. Okay, gone ahead, I found a driver that I hope will work with this video card. So let's see what's gonna happen now. Is it doing anything? I had a bunch of crap that's open that doesn't really need to be open. Internet Exploder, for example, doesn't need to be open anymore. I thought I would have done something. But I guess it did not. Thought I would have run the setup automatically. That's a cabinet file, isn't it? Yeah. That's probably... Yep, that's what I wanted. We'll see what it does. Oh, something happened. Things are happening. Okay, did it actually install? Do I need to reboot the computer? Probably go ahead and close that. You can try that. Let's see what it does. Well, not quite what I had in mind. We'll let it revert back to where it was. Maybe. What happens if I do that? I don't know. Maybe it's because I got the DVI plugged in. I might have to switch back to the VGA. Well, I better turn that off before I get crackbacked by the music mafia. But check out the fog out here. Well, the camera doesn't really show it all that well, but it's pretty thick. I wonder what happens if I turn the video light on. Could you actually see it? Oh yeah, you can see it passing by the camera. That's all fog. That's not rain or anything like that. It's kind of neat, actually. Wow. Try and get some kind of level of focus here on the fog, which is just crazy. Anyway, back in here to this. Which I have to reboot again. And I'm going to have to install some other stuff. But you can see that I do have proper resolution here now that I'm using the VGA. So that's good. I think I broke this optical drive though. You may have also noticed that the console font on this video card is different from the standard, which I thought was a little strange. Well, that sucks. I was changing the bulb in that because it was dead. Set it down on top of the top rung because I was using that to position the new bulb. And I bumped it, of course, and it fell down and it smashed. It's a good thing that's a halogen bulb and not a fluorescent or something. You get mercury poisoning off of it. Well, that's a little irritating. Apparently, my test monitor died. Left it alone, turned it off, and walked away for a little bit. I came back, and it's completely dead to the world. Will not power on anymore, so I don't know what happened there. The front panel controls have been acting goofy for the longest time, so I don't know if that's where the problem is, or if the power supply failed. So I had to go find another one, and I did find another one, with some speakers that actually work, and it's really driven home the point that YouTube is not usable on older computers anymore. This isn't exactly a modern browser by any stretch of the imagination, but it's certainly newer than Windows XP's end of support date, and it's not all that old. But you can see this is really just not working at all. It's trying. It really is trying, but I bet if I look at the task manager, this thing is pegged at 100% CPU usage. Yeah. So I don't think this is going to play a video, but maybe I'll even try it. Yeah, something tells me that's not going to play. Oh, this poor computer. The video card isn't going to be able to do much because it's an old card. It's actually putting out heat. I'm kind of surprised by that. The computer's not. But something's going to happen, and it's going to try and play a bunch of ads, and that's not going to work very well. And it's doing it up there. The old Internet Explorer thing. Wow. Sad state of affairs, folks. Something like this would have been top of the line 20 years ago. Of course, 20 years ago, YouTube wasn't around. YouTube came out in 2005. It was a simpler time, I'm telling you what. It's been 4 minutes. I've been sitting here waiting for this video to load. I think this is actually worse than the Macintosh PowerBook G4. I think even that managed to start playing the video. This isn't going to work. It's never going to work, so we're just going to close out of that. And it's gone. So now the computer is breathing a sigh of relief. So what do we got here? You might be asking yourself. In terms of a processor, and this doesn't tell you everything, but it does say a fair bit. This is new enough to be an Athlon XP, but I believe that's the first generation of Athlon XP on the socket A. There's the information. I should probably look all that up and make sure, because I don't think it's running at the correct clock speed. But it doesn't give me any pertinent details about this. I believe that what this has in it is a 1600 plus. There's the motherboard. AGP 2.0 bus with ALI chipset. To 1 gig of RAM, DDR. DDR 400 it looks like. No, it's DDR 200. Because you can see it's about 100 megahertz, so it's double data rate, so you double that, you get your speed. There's all the RAM slots, but we don't get much information. These ones are the PC133s, you get 3 of those. You cannot, some people will probably ask, you cannot use the PC133 and the DDR at the same time. It's the same thing as those motherboards that had the 2 different types of SIM slots. And also the motherboard that had the DDR and DDR2. They're all the same. You can only use one type of memory at any one given time. For whatever reason, I don't get any GPU information. And there's 2 graphics devices in here, and they both show different things. So, anyway, that's pretty much it for this. I don't have anything else to share. The computer works. So, oh, I did want to do one last thing here. If you take a look at the video here, you can see there's our Wildcat, although it still thinks this is running the Philips monitor, even though it's not. Which is funny. I didn't reboot the computer, so. You get your list of video modes that this supports. Interestingly, it doesn't actually support any 256 color modes. So I don't know what you're supposed to do if you have a game, for example, that you want to run that only runs with 256 colors. I guess they don't really want to hear from you. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.